Hey everyone, Mr. Messier here. This is a lap guide for the current lap time challenge taking place at Catalunya GP with any Group 3 car, and we're on the racing medium tires. For this guide, I'll be using the trusty Porsche 911 RSR as it's my favorite Group 3 car. But anyways, going over to sport mode to access the lap time challenge, so make sure you have menu book number 9 to access this mode. Then going over to online time trials and select the proper one. So this event ends at the end of September 27, 2023. BOP is turned on, and no, you cannot tune your car. So we're on the racing medium tires, and again, you can use any Group 3 car. Before this video, I'll be using the Porsche 911 RSR. And your goal is to get within 3% of the world record time, because when the event ends, that is when your time gets counted, and hopefully you'll get the 2 million credits. Now, we're starting right before the final chicane, so I do want to make a quick note where you kind of want to cheese these chicanes. So, for example, with this first chicane, you can cheese it a little bit, but you have to be really careful as this curb is a really bumpy one which can throw your car off balance. This curb is smaller than the other ones, so you can try to drive right over it and set your car up for the final turn. That way you can get back on the throttle and then take the final turn flat out. We'll go through it again towards the end of the lap. But anyways, for this car, you're not going to go into 6th gear. So once you reach the top of 5th gear, just keep revving it out, because you're going to brake before you pass this little black light that is on the left. So brake as much as you can, going down to 2nd gear and turn in before the curb on the left ends. Ease off of the brakes as you're turning in, so doing a bit of trail braking. Go up to 3rd gear as you go through the 2nd apex, just doing a little bit of throttle control. But then as a curb on the right starts, that's where you want to lift off of throttle so the car can turn in a bit more. Use a little bit of braking if you need to, so I'm using around 20-ish% braking power. Then you're looking for this barrier, this orange barrier, because as soon as you're pointing away from it, that's when you want to get on the throttle. But you do want to be a bit careful about getting on the throttle too early, so you don't end up going off the track. Now brake before you go under the bridge, but be a bit careful with this turn because it is pretty easy to go a bit wide, as you'll see me do over here. Go down to 2nd gear, and you want to try to bring yourself towards the right as soon as you can. The sooner you do it, the better. Even if you go a bit wide, you can still salvage it by bringing yourself towards the right. Then bring yourself towards the right again, because you're braking before you pass this object that is on the right. For this turn, you're going down to 1st gear, turning in before the curb on the right ends. Just doing a bit of trail braking as you enter the hairpin. Go up to 2nd gear, and just be nice and careful getting back on the throttle to maintain control of the car. Then bring yourself towards the right because you're braking before the curb on the right starts. And for this turn, you're going down to 2nd gear, so full braking power for a short moment. Ease off the brakes as you're turning in, and you want to be really careful getting back on the throttle, trying to keep your wheels on the red and white curves as you're still within track limits. Now when the curb on the left ends, that's where you use a little bit of braking and turn in. Stay on 3rd gear, using around 25% braking power at the most. Look for this curb that is on the right, as that is your cue to start to get back on the throttle. Again, just really playing with those track limits. Then bring yourself towards the right. You're braking when there's wall on the right end, so this is right where the new sector starts. Go down to 1st gear, so full braking power, turning in after the 50-meter board. And as you exit the hairpin, go up to 2nd gear, and you can be just very slightly aggressive with the throttle. Not too aggressive, but just very slightly aggressive. Then just as you make this right turn, that's where you want to start to get on the brakes. So using around 50% braking power, just try to stick towards the right side of the track. Look for this curb that is on the right, as that is your cue to get back on the throttle, but be careful when you're getting back on the throttle, as this is where the car can get a bit snappy. Brake before the curb on the left ends, so you want to go down to 2nd gear if you haven't done so yet. Be careful about this big curb on the right, as that can throw you off. bring yourself towards the right and brake before you go under this big sign that is going over the track. So this is where you go down to first gear and full braking power, obviously. Just trying to get your car positioned so you can cheese the curves as much as you can. Go up to second gear as you go through the final chicane. Just be very careful getting back on the throttle and take the final turn flat out. But we'll go through this again, but this time I will not stop the video. Alright, so here we are getting ready to start the new lap, and gonna stay on 5th gear and gonna look for the black light that is on the left, as that's my first braking point. So gonna go down to 2nd gear, just try to maintain momentum going through this first chicane. Go up to 3rd gear and then try to stay towards the right side of the track, which is a bit easier said than done. Looking for that little orange barrier. As soon as you're pointing away from it, that's when you want to try to get on the throttle, but be careful about going a bit too wide and then brake before you go under the bridge. This turn, it's a bit easy to go wide, but you can bring it back by dipping towards the right side of the track to try to salvage your time. Then brake before the object on the right. Going down to 1st gear, then back up to 2nd. Just be nice and careful getting back on the throttle to maintain control of the car. This turn is pretty tricky. Brake before the curb on the right starts. Go down to 2nd gear, just be careful getting back on the throttle. Go up to 3rd gear. Little bit of braking for this right turn, just trying to maintain the momentum. Get back on the throttle as soon as you can, and you can use the runaway curves as you're still within track limits. Then brake as the wall on the right end. So this is where the new sector starts. Going on to 1st gear for more rotation, but accelerate on 2nd gear. And then just be nice and careful going through here. Try to stay towards the right side of the track, but look for that little curb on the right, as that's your cue to get back on the throttle. Then brake before the curb on the left end. Brake before you go under the sign. Go down to 1st gear and just be really careful positioning the car as you go through the final chicane. Exit on 2nd gear and just fully accelerate your way out and finish the lap. So there we go, getting a 144.9 because I'm really rusty. I haven't been playing GT7 that often because I've been burnt out, as I mentioned in the other video. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. So take care, everyone. This is Mr. MCA, and I'll see you in the next video.